Guys, I really think that Aaron Rodgers is washed up, and we definitely need more receivers. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to the episode of Podcast, the podcast where I'm a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom, full-time free man, 6-1, top of the division, Grossi, and we are here to break down the Green Bay Packers beating the Oakland Raiders 40-2, that's 2 for our Spanish-speaking friends, to 24. A phenomenal game for Aaron frackin' Rodgers. But before we get to that, let's do some Patreon shoutouts. And that's right, we have Jono with a $5 Patreon subscription. Thank you, sir. We have Le Fazet Penguin, who is with a $15 subscription, the first of 4 beer masters, meaning that he will be toasted on every single live stream, for he shall be providing the nectar of the gods, beer for consumption. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Raymond Knight, Ray, who has upped his subscription from $12 to $50, so he shall be known from this day forward as King Ray. Thank you, my good sir, and thank you to all the brand new patrons. Check out patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy if you show any interest and want to throw monies at my face. Now, let's jump into it. So, the inactives for today's game. Geronimo Allison actually played and had a couple of clutch catches, and of course, MVS played and had a huge touchdown. But the guys who were inactive, you of course had Ryan Grant, the new wide receiver that we just signed. You had Devontae Adams, and finally, when talking about key people, Darnell Savage. Now, this defense definitely missed Darnell Savage today, which we will talk about, but let's talk about the good stuff first and talk about why I'm not committing toaster bath tonight. And that's because of Aaron fracking Rodgers. Now, Rodgers, 25 for 31, 429 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. He only had 6 incompletions, and he had 5 touchdowns. That's insane. That's absolutely phenomenal. So Aaron Rodgers shushing and relaxing just about everyone out there in the NFL and saying, hey, guess what? The pack is back, baby. And so on top of that, you had Aaron Jones, 12 for 50 and 4 receptions for 33 yards and a big touchdown with an amazing adjustment in the end zone, which was absolutely incredible. Jamal Williams, not as impactful today, but he had a great week last week. And as I have said multiple times now on this show, that's what makes them so good. If one of them starts doing poorly, like Aaron Jones did not play well last week, Jamal Williams was taking his place and did phenomenal. And they go back and forth, and I'm all about it. MVS had 2 receptions, only 2, but for 133 yards and 1 touchdown, one of those being a 74-yard touchdown. Jimmy Graham had a great game, 4 for 65 with 1 touchdown. And Jake Kumaro, a.k.a. Touchdown Whitewater River Rafting Jesus, 2 receptions, 54 yards, and 1 touchdown in which he was dancing. He was doing Le Salsa, yes, into the end zone. And it was absolutely phenomenal. The offensive line also only allowed 1 sack on Aaron Rodgers, but there was a bunch of pressures. He definitely landed on his back a few times today. For the defense, Kevin King, after getting blown up on a couple of different coverages, had a big interception in the end zone after Amos tipped it, which, by the way, Amos, phenomenal pickup. Redmond really struggled in coverage. B.J. Goodson also was in coverage, too, and that was rough. We didn't have great run defense today at all, as Josh Jacobs was able to tear apart our defense, but they fell so far behind they couldn't just continuously give him the ball. We also had big problems covering tight ends like Darren Waller, and we also had 0 pass rush. There was a couple of pressures that we had on Derek Carr, but for the most part, we had no sacks, and the consistency is a little concerning, but if we're staying with this theme, I mean, it's kind of like the bend, don't break, but we make those interceptions when we have to. And I feel like that's different than in the past, because you look at like the 2011 team, right, where we went 15-1. That was a bend, don't break defense, but we just didn't get turnovers, and eventually we just got broken by the Giants in the divisional game. And so with this, we have the ability to pressure the quarterback, and the Raiders did kind of similar to what the Eagles did, getting those passes out super duper quick. And as the game progressed and he had to hold on to the ball longer, so that usually led into some more pressures. But again, I think overall, while the defense didn't play amazing, they did exactly what they had to do to get it done. Now, on the Raiders side of the ball, you had Derek Carr going 22 for 28, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 1 big fumble. As he was rushing and reaching out for the end zone, he fumbled the ball, bounced into the back of the end zone for a touchback. Thank you, sir. Josh Jacobs, 21 carries for 124 yards. Like I said, he had a great day. And Josh Jacobs was a damn good running back. Darren Waller, 7 receptions for 126 yards, 2 TDs, one of those coming, of course, in garbage time. So, like I said, able to wrap it up, able to get it done. We even saw Tim Boyle and Dexter Williams in there because we were blowing them out so bad. Mike Glennon even came in at the end because they're like, we're not even going to risk Derek Carr. And yeah, John Gruden being upset. Yeah. Knock if you're with me on that one. And so taking a look at where we are now, the Green Bay Packers are 6-1. We have tied the amount of wins that we had all of last season, which is sad and yet great. And these last few games, we've done this all without Davante Adams, right? We have missed our number one receiver. They threw up a ridiculous stat today talking about the number of touchdowns on the receivers currently on the team. And Davante's in the 30s, and the next guy down is like Geronimo Allison, who had like 8. And so we're able to get it done with receivers who are either undrafted, unproven, new-ish, and we're still winning games. And what I think I love about this is like the balance that we're showing. You look at the Cowboys game in which Aaron Jones literally is just like, all right, I'm gonna do this, right? 4 touchdowns, right? Absolutely kills them. Last week had a bit of a balanced attack against the Lions, right? There was Aaron Rodgers played well. You had Jamal Williams was playing well. And this week was all Aaron Rodgers after the entire week and everyone saying, oh, we need a new receiver. Hell, I came out and talked about how we might need a new receiver. But I think Rodgers showed like, hey, these guys can develop. MVS can be something special. Lazard, after having a great week last week, didn't have it as great, had some really key catches, dropped a big one, but again, he saw more looks tonight and, of course, more snaps. He was in on a majority of the snaps. And so the fact that this is not even our final form. We're going to get Savage back. We haven't had any injuries. We're also going to get Davante back eventually. Like, this team is evolving, and if that offense that showed up today is going to be the same offense that's going to be showing up week to week to week, and the defense is able to rush the quarterback and cause turnovers, this team is going to be scary. This team is going to be a contender. Now, next week, obviously, we have Kansas City on Sunday night, which has kind of lost some of his allure because you don't have Patrick Mahomes, but they still have a ton of weapons. Matt Moore did not look bad against the Broncos, and their defense certainly did not look bad against the Broncos. So a lot of people were looking past this Raiders game, and for the first half, it was pretty-ish close until like the last minute of the first half. But I think with Kansas City, because they have so many weapons, if their defense is able to kind of lock down our offense, it's going to be a battle. And it's also in Arrowhead, which is not the easiest game or place to play in. So I think that Sunday night will still be a good game, but right now, the Green Bay Packers are 6-1. We're sitting on top of the division. The Lions lost again, a close game to Kirk Cousins, who throwing all those touchdowns all of a sudden, and the Vikings. So the Vikings remain at number 2, and the Bears and Saints are currently going at it right now. And so, again, super competitive division, but this October, as I have said, we are going to find out what this team or who this team and what their identity really is. And I am beyond excited to see that because this is a much better team than what we have put on the field since the past 2 years. It's a much better defense, and yeah, I'm excited for it. Of course, there's going to be inconsistencies, and we're never going to play perfect every single game. It's unrealistic to think that we will, but I like how we're finding ways to win every single week, and it's been different. We're finding ways to win. Today, it was Aaron Rodgers. It was his game. We haven't had to rely on him for the entirety of the season, but today, he's like, hey, I haven't gone anywhere. Don't call it a comeback. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Packer fans got to be happy today as we move on and look at KC for next week. Let me know. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the Patreon members over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. But thank you so much for watching. We will be live streaming the Eagles and the Cowboys tonight, so stay tuned for that. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.